So Marvel just up and gave us a trailer without any warning, and I cried multiple times. So let's talk about it. Hey dudes, what's up? It's an assassin, and as you probably can tell from the title and the thumbnail and all of it, and basically from what everybody's talking about this week, we are going to talk about Avengers Endgame. The official trailer came out a few days ago from when I'm recording this, and so far we've only ever had little teasers like the Super Bowl teaser, the one before that. This is the official trailer, and honestly, we just need to talk about it. And I got a whole list right here. You can't see that, but I got a whole list to talk about because there's a lot in this trailer. There's so much in this trailer, and we just need to talk about it. So first things first. The trailer starts off with showing Iron Man for Iron Man 1 in 2008, and it's Tony talking probably most likely to Pepper, and it's, I think, the same paragraph that he says in the teaser, the first teaser, or the Super Bowl teaser. I think it was the first teaser. That was the speech that he was giving to Pepper, that he wants to come back to her, but he doesn't know. He's dying in space and all this. And then it goes to Captain America, and it's Peggy talking. And then it goes to Thor, and he's with Odin, and I think it's Thor talking. So the thing I do want to say about this little scene, which I don't think anyone's really picked up on, and probably not true, but this is kind of how like my brain works and how like I read it. So you see Tony like with the mask and from Iron Man, and then there's Iron Man 3 with Pepper with the helmet, and he's talking about Pepper, right? So he's talking to a loved one. He's talking about a loved one. And the sun just came out, so like, sorry about that. The sun is directly in my face now. Cool, thanks. So Tony's talking about Pepper and that he loves her and he wants to go back to her and all this stuff. And then you see, and then there's Peggy talking about like Steve be a good man, stuff like that. And then there's Thor talking about loved ones and stuff. So this whole like beginning part is talking about loved ones. And what's interesting to me is that Peggy is dead. Spoiler alert, but Peggy is dead. She died in Civil War. And then another spoiler alert, but Odin is dead. He died in Thor Ragnarok. So it's weird to see Marvel parallel Tony and Pepper, Peggy and Steve, and Thor and Odin when the Steve and Thor are dead family members, or dead loved ones, shall I say. So it's weird that Marvel paralleled that with Tony and Pepper. And so my brain was like, you don't parallel things for nothing. You know, you kind of do it to show that there's a purpose, that it moves the story along. So I'm wondering, is Pepper dead? Like, it's weird to parallel that. So is Pepper dead? Because it makes no sense. One, I think we're pretty for sure Pepper's alive because Gwyneth Paltrow has shown pictures of Rescue in Endgame, that she's like in an Iron Man suit. Her name is Rescue, if you guys didn't know from the comics. But like she's shown that and like all these things. So it's just a weird parallel to do with two dead loved ones paired with one alive loved one. I don't know. Pepper may die at the end of this. Like, I don't know. I don't think they'll kill Pepper, but Gwyneth Paltrow is leaving, so is RDJ, so is Chris Evans, like all these things. So they may kill Pepper, but I don't know. I don't think they will, but it's a total possibility. So I'm just gonna add this little thing here, and technically we don't need it, but I want to talk about it. I miss Peggy. I miss Peggy so much. Peggy's my girl. Like hearing her voice in this trailer made me soft inside, and I'm really worried about Steve, and is Steve gonna die, and is he gonna reunite with Pepper, Pepper with Peggy, and like, ugh, I miss Agent Carter, and I honestly just want Peggy back. That's nothing, really nothing to do with Endgame, but I just really want Peggy back. I just wanted to tell you because she's my girl, and like, I love Tony, and I love Pepper, and Steve deserves Peggy, but also Tony and Steve deserve each other, so yes, I ship Stony / Super Husbands. Fight me. So the next scene I want to talk about is the scene where you see a park and it's Clint with a girl and he's teaching her how to shoot a bow and arrow. And I'll put a picture, hopefully right here, of that scene that I'm talking about. And his family's in the background and the girl shoots and they high five and like all this stuff. And I'm like, is that Kate Bishop? Now, if you don't know from the comic books, Kate Bishop is the second Hawkeye. I actually don't know what number she is Hawkeye, but she is the new Hawkeye. She's part of the Young Avengers. She was taught and trained by Hawkeye and is the new Hawkeye. And a lot of people are like, oh my god, is this Kate Bishop? But it also could just be Clint's daughter. And so it might not be Kate Bishop, but they also might be just substituting Clint's daughter as Kate Bishop, because a lot of people are saying that they're gonna do Young Avengers, and I would hella sign up for that. I love the Young Avengers so much. Ow, I just hit my knee. But I love the Young Avengers so much. It's so good, and I'm really excited. There was a casting call a while back for twins from Marvel. So Wiccan and Speed from Young Avengers. We also, now after Captain Marvel, have the Skrull. So Hulkling, I think, is Hulkling a Skrull? Or is he a Kree? He's one of the two.
I'm literally so sorry. I'm editing this right now, and Hulkling is a Kree and a Skrull. He's a Kree-Skrull hybrid. I should have known that. I'm sorry. Nicole in editing hates Nicole from past. I'm sorry. You can take my nerd card. I don't deserve it. I should have known. He's a hybrid. I'm disappointed in myself.
Anyways, we also have had Scott Lang's daughter for a few years now, since Ant-Man. And reportedly, they recasted her older, so are we gonna get Stature, which is Cassie Lang's superhero name. And like, now this girl who's kind of being mentored by Hawkeye sounds like a Kate Bishop to me. So, I don't know. Young Avengers, I hope, because Young Avengers is so good. I hella want to see a movie of the Young Avengers. I don't know, but it does seem very Kate Bishop-y, that scene. But I don't know Marvel. I don't know what they're going to do, but hopefully it's Kate Bishop. So the next thing I want to talk about is more of a theory and doesn't really deal with the trailer. So with seeing Clint's family, now once again, don't know if that's Kate Bishop or not, don't know the relationship between Clint, but the family definitely seems to be in the background. So the theory that I'm like high-key probably true is that Clint's whole entire family's dead. That Thanos did the whole snap and they got dusted. And that's why Clint once again comes out of retirement and becomes Ronin. His little cloak thing and the knife or the sword, that's supposed to be Ronin. I think that's his alter ego that's after Hawkeye, Ronin. So I think this theory is really sadly true because it just makes sense almost for this character. I don't know if you can hear that, but that was a car. So with Clint's family dead, it makes sense that he'd come out of retirement and like be a badass again. You know, like it's sad that that's kind of his character development almost. That his family dies and then he like goes back on the town. Like he doesn't need that. Like the whole world's dying anyway, so he probably would come back. But Marvel's most likely gonna kill his family, and I'm gonna cry in the theater. I was already gonna cry in Endgame, but I'm just now probably gonna cry for Clint. So Plus, I love my boy Hawkeye, and nobody loves him, but I do. I love him. He's not my favorite, but I do love him. So the next thing I want to talk about, that everyone's kind of using as a nice little template for Endgame, Natasha's hair, Black Widow's hair. So if you've seen Infinity War, you know that it's short blonde because she had to go undercover and she's known for her red hair. So seeing her blonde would be like, oh my god, no way it's Black Widow, but whatever. So we know it's short and blonde, but it changes multiple times in the trailer. Multiple times. You can kind of plot out the timeline of this movie. So it goes from short blonde, then it goes to a long blonde when she's shooting a gun and has a braid. It seems longer, so long blonde. Then it goes to the red with blonde, not highlights, but tips. So that probably is gonna take years to do that. Once again, I don't know hair, as you can tell by all of this. I don't know hair very well. But I believe Natasha is naturally redheaded, and so she of course dyed her hair to hide. But with it getting that long and still having blonde, that definitely seems like a year or two. Probably that growth wouldn't have happened in a few months. So I'm saying that's probably a year or two. And then there's the red long hair with no blonde at all. So if you go based on hair, now once again, you can put on a wig, you can put on extensions. Like Black Widow has had so many hair changes in the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Bruh, look at this dude. Wait till you see the. No, 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 no.
Like, honestly, could we follow this? Maybe, maybe not. But if we do follow this, we can kind of plot out a timeline for this movie, you know? And I'll hopefully show you all the hairstyles here. But we kind of can, like, chronological order this movie maybe. And it also kind of proves that maybe we'll time travel in this movie. I mean, it's still not totally confirmed, but kind of confirmed that we're gonna time travel, but like, don't know yet, but probably, maybe, most likely. So next thing I want to talk about is the scene with Scott right here. So Scott is in front of his house looking at missing poster signs. One, the house looks real old. The house looks real old, real decayed, like foliage. The house is covered in plants, absolutely covered in plants. And that does not happen easily, right? If someone was living in that house, and it looks like someone was with all the garbage there and all the missing posters, and someone probably was living at that house right there, there's no way someone living there would allow the plants to get like that. So, what does that mean? Scott Lang time traveled. Scott Lang went to the future. Because, of course, in Ant-Man and the Wasp, the end credit scene, he goes into the quantum realm, and Michelle Pfeiffer is like, hey, don't go into the time stuff. Like, you'll be teleported through time. And that's probably how, one, he gets out of the quantum realm, and two, how he's in the future and can see all this, like, plant life and stuff that's, like, horribly overgrown. Right? And then it would also make sense for why Scott looks really confused right there, because everyone's missing. Like, he doesn't know what's happening. And it's just, like, it's just a big giant, like, information flood that the world's ending. So makes sense, and also proves more about the time travel theory for Marvel's Endgame. So, meh. Next thing I want to talk about, which I really don't need to talk about, but I want to talk about, my boy Clint-Tasha. So, I ship Clint-Tasha since Avengers 1. Now, yes, Clint has a family, But I didn't quite like the idea of him having a family. Not that, like, it's wrong or anything, but it's just, like, it felt weird, and, like, we should have known about it beforehand, you know? If Clint has a family and children, we should probably know about it before Age of Ultron. And also, Natasha is kind of into Bruce Banner right now, and don't get me wrong, I love my boy Bruce, but that relationship was so forced and so out of nowhere, it felt like magic. Like, how did this happen? But I ship Clintasha. I ship Clintasha. It's not my favorite ship in the MCU. It's probably like real low. Like, I really like don't think about it anymore because nobody really talks about it anymore. But this trailer has so much Clintasha. Just look at these things. They're holding hands. They're putting their heads on each other. Like, this is some shippable stuff. So I'm very excited for that. Very, very excited for that. Sorry, I had to get my shipping heart out there. I'm very sorry for this. So, Ant-Man jumps over the pencil, and you see a headphone jack. Now, you might be like, Nicole, are you crazy? What does a headphone jack have to do with anything? It's a headphone jack. But hear me out. Headphone jacks. What do you think of headphone jacks in the MCU? Most of our Marvel heroes probably would never use a headphone jack, right? Because when I think of like headphones, I think teenager, Peter Parker, or I think our one and only music lord, Peter Quill. Now, making sense, right? Is that Peter Quill's headphone jack? Now, of course, he got dusted. But, you know who's using his ship right now? Tony Stark and Nebula. So, does this mean that Tony Stark comes back to Earth with the Star-Lord ship? I forgot his name, but you know what I mean? And maybe, with all this fire and stuff, does that mean he crashes? Because right now, we do not know how he gets back to Earth. We know he does, but we don't know how. So, it's interesting to see headphone jacks and a lot of like earthy stuff, right? So maybe it's Peter Quill's ship and Tony and Nebula crash, right? Maybe. It could also just be, you know, a freaking headphone jack. Can you tell I read into things? I do. So, next things next. The walking scene. Now, first we see Captain America. I'm going to put a picture right here. And I'm just going to focus on that for now. Do you recognize those suits? Because I do. They look very familiar. Ant-Man and the Wasp. Hank Pym's suit. The one he takes to go save his wife in the quantum realm. Don't they look the same? They look very, very similar. So, does Ant-Man come out of the quantum realm in the future, talk to the Avengers, and say, hey, we can time travel using the quantum realm. Here's a suit that my boy uses in the quantum realm. And Tony's like, let's make some suits for the Avengers, some matching outfits, because I make them look cool. Makes sense, right? Makes sense. Just saying. Time travel proves it. Next, I just want to talk about shipping again because I'm a trash person. So, you know, as you probably already know, I ship Super Husbands / Stoney, Steve, and Tony. And let's just say I'm a little bit mad how Marvel edited this walking scene, because if you look at it, Tony is totally behind Captain America, yet they never show you. Because it shows Cap, and then it shows, I think, Nebula? No, I think it shows Hawkeye and Rhodey, then it shows Tony and Nebula, then it shows Hawkeye again, and then it shows ooh, forgot. I don't, you know what I mean. You know the walk-up scene. But, like, it shows Nebula behind Captain America, and then it shows Nebula is behind Tony Stark. So all I'm saying is the divorce is over. Tony and Steve have gotten back together. They're walking right next to each other, and Marvel does not want you to know. That's all I'm saying. All I'm saying, super husbands confirmed. Marvel doesn't want you to know that they exist. Marvel does not want you to know that the divorce is over and we can all go back home and live under a happy roof of super husbands. Just saying. I'm just telling you, Marvel, you're cowards, okay? You and I both know Steve and Tony love each other because literally in the comics, you write an alternate universe where Tony's a chick and Cap and Natasha get together and marry, and they don't have a civil war because they love each other. So, like, Marvel, you a bunch of cowards. You and I both know Tony and Steve would be perfect together. A lot of hand gestures. I'm just saying, super husbands, OTP. OTP. So now we're just gonna get to the little bit end of the trailer where your girl Captain Marvel's there. Now, if you haven't seen Captain Marvel, why? Firstly, but you see Captain Marvel standing there in that real nice tank top. I do gotta say I love her Captain Marvel uniform, but Brie Larson in a tank top, sign me up. But she's sitting there in a tank top, got her lips done, got her new hair did, and then she turns around and Thor's like, boy, and then Carol Danvers doesn't even flinch. My girl doesn't even flinch. Doesn't flinch at all. And I'm like, your girl. And then Thor is me. He's like, I like this one. You and I both know. Oh my god. Carol, yes, she's gonna kill Thanos. Like, she's gonna come in there and be like, excuse me. And Thor knows it. And they both got glowing eyes because they're the strongest Avengers, including Scarlet Witch. But they killed Scarlet Witch because she's too powerful. I'm just saying. So the next thing I want to talk about is something interesting with Captain Marvel. Now, Samuel L. Jackson, who is, of course, Nick Fury, did an interview and they asked about Carol Danvers' powers and, like, being the strongest Avenger. And he said that she's the strongest Avenger because she can time travel. Okay, weird, right? Because if you've seen Captain Marvel, she never time travels in that movie. Not a once. So Samuel must have meant Endgame. And that means Carol time travels in this movie, right? Or was Samuel Jackson just playing around with us? I don't remember where I read this, but I'm pretty, it's in there, so maybe I even dreamt it. But Carol Danvers can time travel. Now, the issue is, does she time travel with the Avengers? Or, spoiler alert, does she time travel from the 90s to Endgame time? Like in the post-credit scene? Or Samuel L. Jackson was just lying to us because he totally could have been doing that, and I like to read into things once again, so yeah. So the next thing I want to talk about is what this trailer entails. So supposedly, this trailer is like the first 20 minutes of the movie, and that's why they kind of had to pad it with the other movies and the precursors to this movie's Iron Man, Cap, and Thor. So, what's up? What? First 20 minutes of the movie? Do they time travel in the first 20 minutes of the movie? Like, what? What? If this is the first 20 minutes of the movie, we know Carol comes real early. We know Tony comes back to Earth real early. We know Scott Lang gets out of the quantum realm really early. They might even time travel really early. Scarlet Witch hair grows a lot within 20 minutes. Like, 20 minutes. 20 minutes! this must prove the time travel theory, or I don't know, it's insane. How could this be only 20 minutes of the movie? I don't know what's gonna happen. I don't know, is it gonna be Thanos is gonna be the villain, or is it gonna be a new villain? Like, I don't know. It's like, I don't know anything that's gonna happen in Endgame, and it's like, it's killing me. We're less than a month away. Kind of actually over a month away, and I just want to see the movie so bad. What the heck? It's fine. Just gotta bide my time before it comes out. So last thing I want to talk about, which is more of a joking thing, and then I'll end this video because I thought this video was only going to be like, 10 minutes. It's probably 30, honestly. But Marvel really went there once again, showing Tony front and center. We all know this is a Tony Stark event. It's a Tony Stark event because he started it all and he's the best boy. Just saying. But also, when they kept saying whatever it takes, I'm so excited for when this movie comes out and just like all of the music videos come out for Avengers with whatever it takes from the Imagine Dragons. Like, it's gonna be great. It's like Marvel did that on purpose. I'll be real mad if like Whatever It Takes by Imagine Dragons isn't in this movie. Like, it'd be so good. Probably won't, but it'd be nice. But anyways, comment down below. What do you think of the trailer? What do you think the things that I thought about of the trailer? Or did you think of anything that I didn't think of? Did you... Honestly, just anything. You can comment on anything. I just comment. Sound desperate, don't I? Because, life, right? But just like, what do you think? Are you excited for Endgame? Like, what do you think is gonna happen? Anyways, hope you did enjoy. Don't forget the subscribe button with your repulsor blast to become part of the AU Avengers Unlimited, and hit that like button with your hidden blade. And yeah, so I have a few videos planned. Definitely want to talk about Captain Marvel. I want to talk about One Day at a Time. I want to talk about Arrow. I want to talk about all these things. So my plan is to get a video out once a week because I really want to get back into the swing of this. And I've been really motivated to. I found new YouTubers that I'm literally in love with. Like, if you follow me on Tumblr, you know exactly who I'm talking about. I'm literally in love with him. Like, sign me up. But anyways, I'll see you dudes later. Bye! Honestly, so bad. Like, I ramble so goddamn much. Send help.